Hello and welcome to the complete 3-string beginner course from Coda Tuition. My name is Sean Littledyke and I've been producing Cigarbox guitar tuition videos since 2018, and I'm going to be helping you to develop your musical skills throughout this course. And if you're interested, there is a bit more about my musical background and teaching approach towards the end of this video. With this being the welcome video, thanks very much for purchasing the course, it is greatly appreciated. And also stick around until the end of the video because there's some really useful info on how to use the videos and other resources which isn't featured on the online promo. And I hope this course is useful for improving your playing, and after a few weeks I hope you feel like you've stepped up several gears once you've tried some of the exercises and songs. This course is designed for newbies, beginners and inexperienced players alike, and there's over 14 hours in total of video tuition available, and some of the higher level exercises will even give intermediate players a useful challenge. And the course covers a range of essential styles and techniques for beginners, and you should find that your playing improves significantly over the duration, so that ultimately you can go off and learn some of the great 3-string song arrangements available online, not least from the Coda Tuition YouTube channel. Areas covered in this course include flat pick and fingerstyle playing, taking in riffs, chords, picking, strumming and different lead techniques across a range of different styles including blues, rock and country. However, this course only covers fretted note playing, so watch this space for future slide technique courses. Videos are split into two groups for fingerstyle and flat pick playing, and there are several exercise chapters for each section which cover specific techniques, and these include instruction, demos, play-alongs and accompanying tab files. And there are 4 final song lessons, 2 for flat pick, 2 for fingerstyle playing, and the aim of this course is that you learn key skills in the different exercise chapters and you put these into practice when you learn to play the songs. You get lifetime access to this course and you can download everything to your hard drive. However, if you don't have enough storage space on either your computer, phone or tablet, there is an option to stream the videos online. All non-video files are available in the Section C zip folder, and these include tab scores for the songs and exercises, video timing notes and streaming links, and also audio play-along MP3s and tuning notes, and there are even several great freebies available including chord and scale dictionaries and practice beats. You do need to download this zip folder if you want to access the files, so just make sure you have something less than 1 gig storage space available, and then if you don't want to download the entire 20 gig video course, you can just follow the online streaming links. Finally, if you're interested, here's a little bit about me and my approach to teaching. So I've been playing the guitar for over 40 years and gigging for over 30 years and teaching for over 25 years, which I started before graduating in music in the year 2000. And I've been a big fan of the blues, dating all the way back to the 1980s when I discovered it as a youth. And more recently, one of my students introduced me to the world of 3-string Cigarbox guitars back in 2018, and the rest, as they say, is history. Alongside regular guitar and other stringed instruments, I also teach online one-to-one Cigarbox guitar lessons to students from a range of different countries, including the UK, USA, Canada, Australia, Brazil, and also different European countries including Denmark and Belgium. And I use my one-to-one teaching experience to help with creating these videos because there are certain learning methods which are particularly effective for beginners, and also there are certain common pitfalls which are useful to highlight for beginners and then obviously avoid. It's also useful to strike a balance between providing useful musical info and technique and also keeping lessons fun and interesting. So in the second half of this video, I'm going to be outlining how you can order the lesson chapters to achieve such a balance, and which particular videos are essential viewing for beginners and which ones might be more interesting to have a look at once you have a song or two under your belt. I would say that in general, flat pick playing is easier for beginners than fingerstyle playing, so I would recommend starting with section A unless you have a particular interest in fingerstyle playing. All the exercise videos are numbered, so it's obviously fine to work through these in sequence and then try the final songs when you've learnt to play all of these. Now, this is a very thorough approach and it's absolutely fine to do this, but to be honest, I'm often not quite as thorough as this when I'm teaching, doing one-to-one lessons, because I do find that even beginners and very inexperienced players often want to get stuck into songs quite early on. And the main thing to do as a beginner is to make your learning experience enjoyable and interesting. Therefore, you'll want to pick up your guitar more often, you'll play more, and ultimately you'll learn to play more quickly. However, it is important to try certain basic techniques before you try the final songs in this beginner course. So, for example, I would recommend as a newbie and an inexperienced level player trying chapters A1, A2 and A3, which are covering basic posture, technique, including picking and fretting, guitar setup, how to tune your guitar, and also how to read tab. And this should set you up so that you can then move on to chapter A4, which is covering a nice and easy single note riff, and chapter A5 is looking at chords. Now, this is quite an extensive chapter, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend trying all of it to start with. The first part of it is looking at what we call power chords and finger barring, and this is used, finger barring is used in the easy versions of the final blues, 12-bar blues and classic rock songs at the end of section 8. So after looking at all of that, you could hop straight over and start learning the easy versions of those songs, and then maybe at a later date, after you've got those songs under your belt, you can then go back and start to look at the latter part of chapter A5, which is looking at open chord shapes, which can be quite difficult for beginners because the shapes can be quite awkward for your fretting hand. So you can maybe try those with a little bit more experience, and then also that will allow you to move on to chapter A6, which is specifically looking at chord picking. And this is a great technique, but it's not required for the easy songs. So when you're stepping up to the intermediate and more advanced levels of the songs, this suddenly becomes more relevant, as does the final chapter A7, which is looking at lead techniques. So you can maybe cover this, which includes hammer-ons, pull-offs, string bends and slides, and these are started to be incorporated into the intermediate and advanced song versions. Now, you can use this same approach for the fingerstyle section B videos. So, for example, the final Country Rock, which is chapter B7 song, this is the only song that uses what we call open chords. And as I was saying, there can be difficult shapes to fret for beginners, so you can just completely ignore all of the sections of the exercises which are focusing on these open chords until you're ready to learn this song. So, for example, chapter B1 is looking at fingerstyle patterns. Now, this is definitely an essential chapter to have a look at, including multiple exercises. Chapter B2 is looking at incorporating fingerstyle patterns with single note riffs, which is definitely useful to do. Chapter B3 is looking at fingerstyle patterns played with chords, and again you can just look at the first part of this video because it's looking at power chord sequences with fingerstyle, so it's a little bit easier on the fretting hand, and then you can come back and have a look at the open chord sequence at a later date. And after trying exercises from these first 3 videos, you should be ready to try the easy song lesson for the final Swung Blues, which is chapter B6. And as explained for section 8, you can go back and look at some of the chapters that you missed once you can play the easy version of the Swung Blues song. So for example, chapter B4 covers palm muting, which is a great technique to use, but it's only actually included in the higher level advanced swung blues and country rock songs. So maybe you want to look at that when you've got the easy version of the songs under your belt. And finally, if you have jumped straight into section B for the fingerstyle playing and you're not so interested in flat pick playing, that's fine, but I would actually recommend just viewing the first handful of flat pick videos, because for the sort of 101 basics for cigar box guitar players, these aren't covered in quite so much detail in these section B videos. So for example, if you were to view chapter A1, A2 and A3 from the flat pick section, then it would give you basic posture, technique, setup, tuning and tab reading skills. And then you could briefly have a look at the start of chapter A5, which is looking at chords, and this will give you barring technique, which isn't covered in quite as much detail in the section B videos. And then you can even complete section 5, chapter A5, when you want to get into chord strumming, because this is actually included in the final country rock song alongside picking patterns using the open chords. So that's it. Whichever route you take, I hope you have fun learning to play your cigar box guitar. And without further ado, let's get started with the complete 3-string beginner course.